up and down diddly going correctly before I get into this. While I'm doing that, let me first start off by saying don't turn this off in the middle of it, no matter how unpleasant that it seems or that it might get. It's not necessarily a personal attack, and nothing in here is meant specifically to cause harm, though feelings may be hurt and things that are difficult to hear might be said. I would advise that in order to not take things out of context or too severely personally, that you listen all the way through. So while I'm going over my stream real quick on my account, just to make sure that this is uploading properly and everything's in order, because I was having some issues. I'd just like to get that out in the air right now. Just to make sure. Here it is. No, that's not it. That's not just manage that. Customize. Okay, we're good to go. So as I was saying, that took but a brief moment. Don't click off of this until the end. It's going to be fairly to the point, as much as I can be. So Matt, this one's for you, and I'd like to start off by saying that I think things have gotten to a point where, firstly, I should call on myself, so you know that this isn't a humongous targeting video. And also, it should be mentioned that if I didn't actually give a shit, that I wouldn't go out of my way to make this take any sort of time to even think about it or to execute it. So I'm here, obviously I care, I'm doing this and trying to get the message across. This is my last attempt at extending a hand and offering to you. And I'm going to start by saying that I know that I am far from perfect. I know that I've been a dickbag plenty of times. I know that in the regards of general life, aside from video games, that I am temperamental. I've been an asshole, and I've said some dirty things, nasty things rather, not dirty, and said some upsetting things, and have performed not as a great human being. I would like to get out of the way that I am not calling myself the king of all that is right. I would like to get things out of the way by saying that I do not think that I am on a high horse or that I am held above anybody. I do not hold myself in a prideful regard above anybody specifically, in the sense that I don't think that if I'm pointing something out and I see it and I think it's wrong, or it's just flat out incorrect or something like that, I'm not going to pretend that I haven't done the same or similar or even exact thing in the exact fashion that I'm calling it out. That being said, I think that I have a right to, as I'm trying to improve myself, call things out in others that I myself would want to correct in myself. And I'm going to start just getting to the point here by saying that you currently are how I was and am trying to get over in my sort of just flat out drunken, evil, just sort of mean to everybody, not giving a shit about life or anybody around me phase. Now, I was like that. I pushed a lot of people away, I hurt people that were close to me, and I did terrible things to my closest friends and family that I shouldn't have. And I've come to regret it all, and I'm not saying you have to fucking lead by my example or try and correct yourself or follow that same path. You can go on however you want in life. But this is me saying that I've been there. I've done almost exactly the same things as you, felt almost the exact same way as you, felt targeted by everybody, including people who were supposed to be close to me, and in turn for it, actually ended up realizing later on that I was the one damaging everybody. Now it's just me, and I think that gives me the authority to speak on this matter. So, moving on to the video game aspect of things, that, yeah, I got a family, I got responsibilities, I have, work around my house, I have jobs that I'm currently about to get into. Sorry, job. I was extended an offer today, a matter for another time. So, that's that. And I don't have all the time in the world to be spending on all the games I would like to. I really wish I did. I wish I could get paid for doing it. Even if I did, I still don't know that I'd be the greatest. I'm not that great. However, I think I'm doing decently, considering that I don't get around to it all that often. And video game-wise, my stats in most games would, especially Rocket League, would show that I do moderately for the time that I allot myself to play it, considering I've been really trying to catch up in LTMs in games like Genshin, where I've invested a more so amount of money. So, now we're going to move on to the touchy stuff. Now that I've gotten all that out of the way, I've called myself out. I have mistakes. I make mistakes frequently, and I'm just improving for the most part, slowly. But I'm always going to make some mistakes. Not even pro players make perfect ones. And not even quote-unquote good people, just in life in general outside of video games, don't make mistakes. That all being said, here comes the touchy stuff. Okay? So, I'm not going to sit here and Jeff's comments aside, Lisa's comments aside, everybody's comments aside, of my own opinion, these are the things that I think. I'm not going to sit here while you get bitchy and defensive over a video game to the point where you say IRL just nasty things directed at me or my family. Just because of a fucking game. It's a game. I need to work on getting the fuck over the fact that, games are games. I have a huge problem with it, rage issues. But you tend to take it to a new level. Over trivial things that don't even matter either. So, what I'm saying is that I'm not going to sit here and stand for it. I don't sit there and, poke at your mother or your brother when you have to say goodnight to them, or your stepfather when he calls to you, or your brother when he freaking pulls you away to smoke weed, and then whatever the fuck the case may be. I could make a billion excuses. I could point fingers. I could say some nastier shit about it. I could just start tearing into you or them the way that you have about my family in the past, okay? You have distractions equally, and I know this is going to be hard for you to hear because you're going to get upset. You have distractions equally. It's not even a question. It is equally, and it is as frequently, and you can ask anybody who plays with you, it's primarily me, Jeff, or review of your stream, the times that you've been pulled away or interrupted due to your distractions. Okay? And my distractions do the same for me. It just so happens that mine and yours don't always coincide at the exact same moment. I never ever, and if I do, I try not to, usually don't friggin' tear into you about it. I sure as hell don't tear into your, distractions about it, your family, your friends, or whoever, whatever's going on. That doesn't happen. I don't do that. You want the proof? You can look for the proof on your own streams and whatnot, and then you can call whatever witnesses you feel necessary, if that's how deeply you're willing to take it. So, I'm not going to stand for that anymore. This is a genuine reach out to you for us to try and fix whatever the fuck it seems to be the problem. So, furthermore, I don't actually think necessarily you're garbage at anything in particular in games. I just am sort of, fucking trying to joke with you, and other times when I actually am a little bit upset, I need to reel my shit back in. I'm not really too severe about it, just a little picking on here and there. If you absolutely do not like that, do not want to joke around with me, can't deal with it, can't handle it, can't hold your own while, we're throwing what's supposed to be humorous shots at each other, then you don't have a place in my life as a friend. You don't. That's my humor. That's how things are. So don't take that the wrong way. Don't go ahead and hop off this video right now. There's more to be said. It's not just one and done, it's over with. It's if you can't handle who I am when I'm trying to be kind and inclusive and even be fucky and screw aroundy, if you can't handle each and every aspect of what I am and what I have to offer, then you don't have a place in my life. If you're going to be very sensitive about all of it. I'm not always picking on you, and I'm not always meaning things literally, and I believe I've said that before. And I believe at this point you should know the difference. And it seemed like not too long ago that you were actually even better at Jeff than he was at catching my humor and tit-for-tatting, playing with me. And honestly, I don't know what went wrong in your mind or in your life. I'm not trying to point fingers or be a dick or anything about it, but I'm being genuine. I don't know what went wrong where me and you had a good connection on a friendship, what I thought, where you just decided that at any given moment, at any given word said, that you could be a raging douchebag for no reason, and accusative, and also that you were so sensitive about all and any of the things I've said. I get that's how Jeff is to you. That's not how I've been. So that being said, I am not going to quote unquote, not need that negativity in my life. I'm just saying I just won't be putting up with it. Like, you are gonna, if you're gonna start on me about something, expect to be snapped back on. I will not back down, and as long as you can put up with it, believe you and me, I can put up with it longer. And I can sit there and stand my ground, and I can go for hours, days, however long you want to keep things going for. I'll match you and beat you at it. I've gotten pretty good at it over the years, and that's not a challenge or a contest. It's just me saying, like, if you're going to come like right on me, right after me, be super sensitive and explosive, then I'd expect it back. I'm tired of pussyfooting around, and I'm tired of fucking being gentle about it, because I don't know exactly what I did to deserve this, and I've thought to myself, I don't really think I've done anything, and anything that I have done, I've done my best to genuinely apologize for. So I'm done with the being gentle about it. If you explode at me, expect it back in full return. I will deliver it back. And, this is between me and you, so if you feel the need to bring, outside sources into this, like your family and blame and stuff like that, you want to say something nasty about my family, I'm not going to hold myself back from saying something, nasty about yours, okay? I'm just not. I don't want to go that far because I have nothing bad to say about them, like, not genuinely, but to let you know how I'm feeling when you do it to me, I will go that far. So, let's not do that. Let's recover from this shit. Let's move forward if you actually want to, and let's get back to how things were previously. Continuing on from that, the video game side of things, or rather all of this actually seemed to start, you say that weed helps you and all that. It just seems to me, to Jeff, to anybody else who really, that I've talked to who knows you, it seems like all this really started when you started quote-unquote smoking or whatever. Now, I'm not going to be one of those fucking old-timers who's like, oh, it's the ganja's fault, when it's not. But it just definitely seems like either it's like a combination of the weed or the night shift or whatever have you, whatever reason caused you to flip so severely that, things just are riding a hairline with you. And so I'm just gonna explain that as far as the game aspect of things, again, not trying to be a dick, but, I put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. My skills, for the most part, and stats show that I've achieved, more than you at your stage. And that I am, for the most part, a little bit better, I think, in terms of, success rate in winning, and you know, a lot of that's due to, like, it can be due to outside factors, like I have a special attachment for my controller, I have a big TV, I have better internet, things like that. So whatever you want to attribute it to, it's not meant to flaunt or throw in your face. It's just meant to say, like, you can't be sitting there shitting on, like, legitimately shitting on, not just poking and playing and prodding, I mean, like, legitimately getting pissed and fucking shitting on Jeff, or especially me, like, mostly especially me, and especially times when I'm leading games, or, you know, winning 1v1s, or like a special, like, definitely in circumstances where I'm doing both. Like, just, it doesn't make any sense, because your point is invalid when you're trying to sit there and pick at somebody and go, oh, ha ha ha, you're imperfect, look at that, you missed a shot, yet, you know, I'll be sitting at the top of the leaderboard, or I've done a lot of helping, or, you know, I've, you know, been winning us games for the most part, or, you know, even if you've made plays and the things you've done I'm not discrediting, you get the credit for it. Obviously, if your score says you did something, or if you did something, you did it. I'm just saying, like, if I've been participating more or at the same level, you can't sit back there and friggin' nitpick at each and every individual mistake when nobody's perfect, especially in Rocket League, and not everybody makes a perfect play every time. There are going to be players that you run into better than me. Your point earlier is also invalid about you doing better in tournaments. You didn't do better in tournaments without me and Jeff. Your stats show me that you've won more, and your wins and Jeff's wins co-align for the most. Actually, I think 100%. I think the only wins that you and Jeff have had when we've been playing together, as a matter of fact, from when I last looked at them. So you can't be sitting there saying that when obviously every once in a while somebody is going to come along and carry you a little bit better than me. Somebody's going to be better than me, and every once in a while somebody's going to be worse than me, and they're going to, you know, the point of playing as a team in tournaments and stuff like that, or in any game, is to progress because you have synergy and communication. You know, if you want communication and synergy, it's consistency. Like, you can't just randomly mix it up and throw in whenever you want. You know, I didn't just sit there and sit on, like, a pedestal and say, I'm the best out of three of you, and that's why I should lead. No, I just took what I thought was an agreed upon and mutually understood and somewhat unsaid agreement between the three of us, me, you, and Jeff, that things worked best for us if we communicated back and forth, and when needed, I communicated certain commands and, you know, things, you know, that needed to be changed and rotated, but at my voicing, because Jeff, for whatever reason, doesn't really voice his things, he just sort of does. So that's, you know, earlier, you know, when you're saying you're going to do tournaments without us, you know, whatever, do what you want, but you're not going to do better, you know, without us, unless you have consistency no matter who you're playing with. Like, yeah, every once in a while you're going to get carried, every once in a while you're going to carry. That's the way it is with randoms in Rocket League. You can't sit there and genuinely tell me that you think that you're good enough with random people, or that random people are good enough all the time for you to consistently win more than you would with me and Jeff. Like, you can't honestly sit there and lie to yourself and believe that, and if you can, then I don't know what to tell you. It's just not going to happen. That's not me being a dick, that's just being realistic. I didn't make it farther than I have with, you know, even my elevated skills and, you know, stats above you, as far as I did in tournaments and stuff, until I started playing and synergizing with you and Jeff. It doesn't happen. Our LCS pros play with people they synergize with, you know, because they're sponsored teams. Like, they don't just throw a bunch of fucking pros together and say, hey, do your best, and, you know, whoever wins the tournament wins the tournament. No, there's registered teams for a reason, and these people practice, and they get together, and they do this shit. So, you know, I understand that Jeff gives you a hell of a time, and that sometimes he's actually a dick about it, and I understand that there are times when I do. But you really as far as, aside from Jeff needing to work on what he needs to work on in his life, aside from me wanting to work on what I want to work on, or I need to work on in my life, my issues, my struggles, I took this time out to extend a final offering to you. Fix this now and make it better, or leave it shit, and I'll just turn into a complete Jeff towards you. But I took this time out to try and avoid that worst case scenario, because I didn't think I did anything. I don't think I've done anything truly wrong or said anything truly wrong to you. I have never given away any of your personal information, told anybody over personal talks or anything like that. I just, like, whatever you've heard from mine and your personal talks, from other people knowing this information about mine and your personal talks, is because you just happen to stream everything, and people do in fact watch your stream, primarily Jeff and Lisa, who want to argue with you, or who do argue with you outside of me, and they watch your stream. And that's not my fault that you stream that, so you can't be sitting there thinking that I've betrayed our personal talks, our chats, our agreements, whatever it may be. So that's pretty much all I wanted to get off my chest, is that, like, I've got plenty of shit to work on. Jeff's got plenty of shit to work on. You're really gonna have to figure out what it is to make things better, or just, don't cause any problems, and I won't cause any problems, and then we can just drift apart from each other into eternity and, never fucking speak again, if that's really how you want things to go. I don't want that. I took this time out to try and establish a reconnection. So if that's how you want things to go, by all means, progress how we're progressing and stuff like that. Furthermore, I'd like to note that also, you can't be shitting on me for just waking up and, not being 100% at things. You can't be shitting on me for just not getting back in the game and not being 100%. People mess up everywhere. If you want me to not be a dink back, don't be a dick to me. Like, you really got to put a cap on that shit. I don't know whatever reason it is, or whatever excuse it is. I know whatever reason or whatever excuse is just not good enough. I can say that because it wasn't good enough for me to treat people that way, and it's still not good enough for me to treat people that way, and that is exactly what I've done to the people who have been closest to me, and I've lost a lot of people for it. So I can sit here and comfortably say I'm not being an asshole to you when I say that. Something needs to give. Gotta figure something out. Jeff aside, I don't control him. I don't have any say in what he does, or whatever the case. I would like it to get back to the point where you talked personally to me about whatever problems you had in confidence, and we were fine with each other's fuck-ups, and we gave each other a little bit of shit, and we joked around, and everything was fine. The shit that's going on currently, like this morning and the other day in the tournament, needs to fucking end. And if you think the only way to end that is by taking the easy way out and the fucking, non-thinking road, and just fucking separating yourself because nobody needs that negativity, or whatever the fuck the case may be, then whatever, man. Do what you fucking gotta do. But I'm willing to work for it. That's why I made this. That's why I'm here. So if you want to get somewhere, you need to accept the things that you do wrong. You need to stop doing them. At least, fucking taking things out at the very least, taking things out on me. And I'll likewise treat you with the same respect that you treat me. And that's all I gotta say. So, best of luck to you on your night at work, whatever it is you're doing at the moment of, watching this. Have a good sleep, whatever it is that you're proceeding to do for the day. Have a good day. Try not to respond with, hatefulness and anger. Just take time to mull it over. Like I said, if that's your response, then expect it in return. I'm not gonna back down. But that's not what the point of this video was. It wasn't a shit on Matt, collab or anything like that. It wasn't just a compilation of, shit on Matt. It was, I don't think you're realizing the things that you're doing and saying, and I am realizing the things that I'm doing and saying in response to those things, and I don't quite like the way that feels to say those things to somebody who's supposed to be my friend, and to be angered so easily by stuff like that. I don't like the way I'm feeling about it. Don't know about you. Don't know if you even care. Hope that you do. Hope that you take the time to get through this. Have a good one.